What's going on, everyone? Hope you're having a great day. So today I want to do something a little bit different with you. This morning I was having coffee and I ended up on the Toyota YouTube channel. And the other day they put up a video comparing the Tundra and the F-150. So I watched the video, took some notes, and I wanted to kind of go over with you each thing I saw on there, and we could kind of talk about some of the things they're comparing. And then at the end, I want to go over some of the notes that I actually made on the video. Now, I can't show you the video on this channel because of copyright law, but if you go down in the description, there is a link to the exact video so you could check it out yourself. So let's get started. So in the video on the Toyota channel, they're comparing two very popular trim levels of each of the trucks. So you're dealing with the 2020 Toyota Tundra SR5 4x4 Crew Max with the 5.5-foot bed. Both trucks have the biggest cab with the 5.5-foot bed. It's called the Super Crew over there in the Ford camp. On the Ford side of it, we're looking at the 2020 Ford F-150 XLT with the 5-liter V8 engine. So those are the two trucks we're going to be comparing. Like I said, they both have the 5.5-foot bed. The price is the first thing they talk about in the video of these two trucks that they're doing the test on. The Tundra comes in at $40,750 and the Ford is $44,260. Now that is roughly a $3,500 to $4,000 difference right there. We're going to talk about that at the end because there's a lot of things we have to talk about with incentives and stuff like that, and pretty much just working your deal when you go to each of these brands and their dealerships, how hard or how easy it is. So we'll talk about that at the end. The other thing they talk about next is they're basically going after 5 ways the Tundra is a little bit better than this Ford. Now, they're not talking about, before we go any further, they're not talking about all the Ford F-150s. They're just doing a direct comparison between this SR5 4x4 and this XLT 4x4. So let's keep that in mind. And don't forget, the Ford F-150 has engine choices, 2.7 liter, 3.5 liter, and the 5.0 V8. So this is V8 versus V8. The first thing they talk about is the towing capacity of the Tundra in this setup can do 9,800 pound towing capacity. And for the Ford, it's 9,000. So Tundra edges out the Ford in that category by 800 pounds. But don't forget, the towing capacity changes on each trucks when you start changing the cabs, 4x4 or 2-wheel drive trucks, the different engine choices over in Ford. So it's close enough to where you can make up your mind on which direction you want to go there. I believe, don't quote me, it's either 10,200 or 10,400 is the highest towing capacity available on a Toyota Tundra. And I'm pretty sure that is the double cab, 2-wheel drive SR5. So we can, if anyone knows if it's 10,200 or 10,400, you could comment below. So that's the first thing they talk about. The next, which I think this is a big one, they talk about the Tundra comes standard with Toyota Safety Sense, okay? So even when you go down to the SR5, all the way up through the range, Toyota Safety Sense is in the Tundras. Ford has adaptive cruise control and they call lane keep assist, and it's not available in the XLT, unfortunately. One thing I do like about Toyota when it comes to the Tundra, there's a lot of stuff available throughout all of the trims, which we will talk about later in the video. But Toyota Safety Sense is the big new thing for the Tundra since the 2018 model year, and they want to put it in all of their trims. So that's pretty cool that it goes throughout all of the trims, and unfortunately it doesn't come in the XLT on the Ford. The next thing they talk about is the ground clearance. So the Tundra at this setup comes with 10.6 inches of ground clearance. The Ford is 9.4. Now I will tell you one thing, when you watch the video on Toyota, the XLT comes with that air dam fin in front. If you take that thing off, you're going to get yourself a little more ground clearance. I'm not a big fan of those air dam pieces that they put on a lot of the front of these trucks. Even the Toyota Tacoma comes with that on some trims. I know the TRD Sport has that on theirs. So if you take that off, you'll get a little more clearance out of it. I know it's there to help with fuel mileage, which we will talk about later on because the Tundra is far behind when it comes to fuel mileage versus this truck, but we'll go over that later. They didn't talk about that in the video. The next thing they talk about is the Tundra comes with 18-inch wheels and the Ford comes with 17-inch wheels. They both are the steel wheel looking setups. Most of you that buy these trucks, you're buying it for work at this level, or if you're buying it because this is the Tundra or Ford F-150 you can get yourself into, you might change the wheels and tires anyway. But the 18 and 17-inch wheels, so on the Tundra you get the 18, on the Ford you get the 17. I actually like the look with more tire and less wheel, but they both look fine. The next thing they talk about are the awards that each truck has gotten. So They talk about the Tundra getting the Edmunds Best Retained Value Award, the Kelley Blue Book Best Resale Value, and the 5-year Cost to Own Award. And their Ford F-150 has no comparable awards to that. All right, the last thing they bring up in the video is the Tundra has driver and front passenger seat-mounted airbags, driver and front passenger knee airbags, Safety Connect system, and the Star Safety system is also available in the Tundra. And don't forget, this is a big one. They have Toyota Care, which is 2 years, 25,000 miles of free maintenance, tire rotations, oil changes. They check all your fluids. They adjust all your fluids as necessary, things like that. And also comes with 24-hour roadside assistance. So right there, basically comparing the F-150 XLT with the 5.0 V8 and the 5.7 Tundra. Now that is where the video ends. So here are some notes I have on this that they didn't go over in the video. Now, each brand offers you something a little bit different, so it's not necessarily one is better than the other. I think in the lower trims, Toyota definitely offers you more options with the Tundra as far as what they give you up front with it. But don't forget, once you start going up the trim levels in the F-150, you could do a lot more things than you can do with the Tundra. A lot of the Tundra stuff kind of comes in packages, although they're getting a lot better with offering single upgrades here and there on the Tundra throughout the trim lines. But when it comes to the Ford F-150, at the end of the day, you could just do a lot more with them without buying packages with a bunch of stuff in it. But in this level, what they're talking about in this video, the Tundra is going to offer you a little bit more. The second thing I wrote down, we're looking at my notes now, is the $4,000 price difference. Now, I didn't talk about incentives or anything like that. After we go over this list, I will bring up the current incentives that are available for both trucks. But overall, just as is before any incentives, a $4,000 price difference, and you're going to save a little money with the Tundra, and you're actually going to get more stuff with the Tundra there. But the next thing on this list is something you need to keep in mind depending on what you're going to use your truck for. Now, they compared the 5.7 V8, which at this point is the only engine available on the Tundra. The 4.6 is gone. The 4.0 V6 has been gone for a few years. It's just the 5.7. And the gas mileage is the big con when you're comparing these two trucks. The 5.0 V8 from Ford, 4x4, because it's different with two-wheel drive. The 4x4 5.0 V8 from Ford gets 16 and 22. So 16 city, 22 highway. Again, in the 4x4. The Tundra gets 13 city, 17 highway. So the fuel mileage is quite a bit difference between the two. So keep that in mind if fuel mileage is a big deal to you. If you're going to be doing a lot of traveling in your truck, that is a big difference right there. So that is something you've got to keep in mind when you're spending all this money on a truck. So now let's take a look at some of the incentives that are available right now for both of these trucks. Okay, we're going to start with Ford. Now, these may differ region to region, but this is what is available right now in my region. The first thing that was on there was a lease offer, 2020 Ford F-150. Now, this is for the XL Super Crew STX 4x4 with 2.7 liter EcoBoost. So that is the only model you can get for this deal. And it's for returning Ford lessees. So that means if you're bringing in your Ford and changing out to a new lease, this is how you get this deal right here. $179 a month for 24 months, $3,859 cash due at signing. All right, so that is the first deal. Like I said, it is just for this specific F-150, this trim, the XL, which is I believe that's the lowest trim in the Ford camp. So keep that in mind. The next one is called a retail offer. It is for the 2020 Ford F-150 for the XL and the XLT. So it is not across all of the trims. It is just for XL and XLT. 1.9% for 60 months, okay? And that's Ford credit financing. You got to use them, which is the normal thing. Same thing when it comes to Toyota financial services. You only get these deals when you actually use their financing. You also get $1,500 bonus cash and $250 Ford credit bonus cash. Plus, defer 3 payments plus $2,000 down. First 3 payments, Ford credit bonus cash. So that is what they're offering. Once again, just XL and XLT. Another option for the 2020 Ford F-150 XLT is you get $3,750 cash back, plus $250 Ford credit bonus cash, plus $2,000 first 3 payments Ford credit bonus cash. All right, so over on the Toyota website for the Tundra, the financing offer is 0.9% APR for 60 months on select Toyota Tundra models. Now, before we go any further, it should be noted, when we were over on the Ford website, a lot of those deals were for the XL and XLT. These deals here, as far as 0.9% APR for 60 months, is actually for the entire Toyota trim, all of the lines, everything they offer, except the TRD Pro. The TRD Pro is the one truck that is excluded, but you could do SR, SR5, limited, $17.94, and platinum. All of those you can get. That is top to bottom for the Tundra. You can get these APR deals. So it's 0.9% APR for 36 months, 39 months, 42 months, 48 months, and 60 months, and 1.9% APR for 72 months. As far as cash offers go, $2,750 cash back on select 2020 Toyota Tundras. Once again, that excludes the TRD Pro Tundra. So as far as incentives go, I feel like Ford offers a lot of cash back, but the one issue is you can't use that across all of the trims. It's only available mostly on the XL and XLT, the two lower trims. When the Tundra, when we're looking at the Tundra at least, you can use that on all of the trims of the Tundra except the TRD Pro. So you might get a little more out of it from the Toyota side of the coin on that one. Depends on how you look at it and depends on what you want to buy. Also, we didn't talk about this. A lot of people always say, it's easier to buy a Ford F-150. And I hope there are some Ford guys watching this too. Please chime in. We want to hear what you're thinking. And if you've gone through any of these situations with what I'm about to talk about, as far as buying a Ford F-150, a lot of the F-150 owners talk about how they get a ton of money knocked off the price. Because one of the things that you're not going to see on these websites, and when you read all this stuff or YouTube videos from the actual manufacturer, you're not going to see the deal you could potentially get when you go to the dealership. And I'm not talking about now with what's going on in the world. I'm just talking about an everyday situation. A lot of the F-150 guys talk about going to the dealership and getting certain dealerships to knock off $6,000, $7,000 to get them into their Ford F-150. There are other stories out there at Toyota, from Toyota owners where they get a good amount of money off too. But then there's stories of, owners that have gone to Toyota dealerships, and some of the dealerships give you that elitist feeling where they don't want to work with you and they don't want to give you a great deal on the Tundra. And I've also heard of that from the Ford, depending on what you're going after. So as I said in the video earlier, all of those APR and cashback offers are not for the TRD Pro. There for all the other trims of the Tundra. It kind of goes the same way if you continue to look deeper into the trims on the Ford. None of those deals are available for the Raptor. And you also, here's one small thing that's not in the video and really has nothing to do with it, but just put it in perspective. The TRD Pro, you can lease a TRD Pro if you want to. It's your choice. You can finance, lease, or buy outright. The Raptor, they do not let you lease. There is no leasing on a Ford Raptor from the dealership brand new. So that's something to keep in mind as well. So what do you think? Which truck offers the better deal? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure you go watch the video at the Toyota YouTube channel before you comment, just so you can see everything in detail. Like I said, I can't post a lot about the video as far as, images because of copyright. But once again, it's in the description below if you want to go watch that video, and then comment below. Where do you see the pros and cons? Where does the Tundra win? Where does the Ford F-150 win? Let me know. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook at Tundra234, Tundra234@gmail.com. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon. Be safe.